5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision's The Week That Was, covering the news and events for the week ending Friday, February 11th, 2022. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, students looking to transfer to Troy University will soon have an increased financial incentive to choose Troy due to some new financial aid offerings exclusive to students looking to transfer into Troy. Claudia Peppenhorst has the details.
Troy University is offering transfer students new opportunities through a new scholarship program that will be available to students looking to transfer to Troy starting this fall.
Last fall, we took a look at our funding, our availability for our scholarships for our transfer student. We rebuilt those just to offer some better financial support for those students. This can be for any of the community college students within the state of Alabama outside of the state. It can also be for students that are at four-year institutions. Primarily, our focus is those community college students. We want them to finish their degree at the community college they're at, and then of course transfer to Troy, become a Trojan, and have that financial support.
The university is expanding its scholarship offering to transfer students with dollar amounts based on a student grade point average.
So what we're going to offer now is two different scholarship brackets for our transfer students, similar to what we offer our freshmen, but a difference in money value there. So we will be offering a one Troy transfer scholarship, and that's going to start at a 2.5 GPA, and that's going to be $1,000. That goes up to that 4.0 GPA, and that's an award of $4,000. Once you hit the 3.5 bracket and up to the 4.0 GPA, you're looking at $4,000.
The other scholarship offering is for members of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. A $5,000 scholarship is available to a single student from every community college location in the state.
We really realized that there's a high urgency, a high importance for our students that are in Phi Theta Kappa, which is the Community College Honor Society, to have an advantage when it comes to scholarships. So we started offering that as well. We will offer 40 of those. So essentially a student will be eligible for that as long as they are a member of PTK, which is the Phi Theta Kappa.
The Sorrell College of Business's new Sorrell 360 Center for Professional Life held an open house all last week to show off what the center will offer to Troy students. One of the center's goals is to put Troy students in contact with working professionals. Cailey Wright shows us how they're doing that.
Sorrell 360 Center for Professional Life held their It's All Business panel that featured local business professionals who shared their secrets to success with Troy University students and faculty. Attorney at law, Joel Lee Williams didn't need an economic degree to practice law. However, he said that the study habits he developed through the major helped him become a better law student.
I tell people, if you're going to go to law school or some professional school, major in something difficult. Don't find a major that's easy, because it's kind of like training for a race. You want to train.
Though you can learn a lot about life and your career through college, experience proves to be the best teacher.
Learning starts after school. School trains you to learn. The learning doesn't really start until after school.
One of the valuable lessons that he learned in the field is that a large part of communicating effectively is listening.
Anytime you're serving a customer, a client, a patient, what you're trying to do is help them solve a problem. And to solve that problem, you need to hear that problem from their point of view.
And though you can help others by listening to what they have to say, Williams said that sometimes what a client wants is unrealistic and he has to bring them back to reality. Sometimes being honest isn't always going to get an ideal reaction.
You be honest even when it's not pleasant. You be truthful even if it doesn't serve you immediately. You have to overcome those unpleasant obstacles.
However, Williams said there is one thing students can be doing right now. That one thing is putting in the effort.
Do the work. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Say what you're supposed to say, to whom you're supposed to say it, when you're supposed to say it. You have to be intentional. You have to be deliberate. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it.
Troy University's Office of Civic Engagement has started a new program this semester to engage students in discussions about race in today's society in a casual setting. Simon Schuessler has the details.
Most people love coffee, but not everyone loves having uncomfortable conversations. That's why the Office of Civic Engagement hosts Coffee and Conversations, a program designed to help students discuss difficult topics.
We feel that these are very important conversations for us to have about how we treat one another and how we accept one another. And so we're really excited to be doing this for our second year.
Tuesday's conversation was centered around the topic of bias. Students were challenged in various ways to recognize any unconscious bias that they may have, and were encouraged to speak about the reasons for that bias and where it can originate from.
And so this is the first installment of 3 of the structures of bias. The next one will be discussing about the representational bias and then institutional bias. And so we want to provide an opportunity for students to have an open space for them to really congregate and collaborate about bias and what they believe, and challenge themselves on some of their values that they may have.
Students were encouraged to participate in various activities that were designed to help them recognize their bias and how preconceived notions may not always be true.
So today they did what I like to call as the first impression activity. It's where I present with you, I present to you different photos of different people from different cultures, different religions, different backgrounds, and I really look at how what would be your first instinct of how you would describe these people if you had to categorize these type of people.
Coffee and Conversations will be held the next 2 Tuesdays, February 15th and February 22nd. For more information, you can find it on Instagram at Troy_service. Simon Schuessler, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll learn about a new piece of art greeting visitors to the Troy University Library. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
We all dream, but dreams quickly become distant memories, unless we do something about it. Do everything in our power to learn to lead. At Troy University, we offer leadership opportunities from day one. We're dedicated to teaching a new generation to lead change. Do you have what it takes to change the world?
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
For the past few years, there's been an empty hole in front of the entrance to the library, but recently the hole has been filled with a returning addition to campus. Claudia Peppenhorst gives us the details.
There is a new and returning addition to campus outside of Wallace Hall. The Student Scholar statue, created by artist Hubao Zhu, now has a home in front of the library. Previously, the statue was placed in front of Rushing Hall, but after a few years of storage, it now resides in a different part of campus.
Well, the statue came to us maybe 3 years ago from the artist Hubao Zhu, who died maybe a year ago and was a really good friend of Dr. Hawkins. He's also the person who designed and donated many of the terracotta warriors and also some other statues on campus.
You may have noticed for the past few years, a hole has been located outside of Wallace Hall. Now that hole is home to the Student Scholar statue. Dr. Schaefer says that he hopes this new addition to campus will help inspire students who are heading into the library.
I think artwork of any kind has the ability to truly inspire the onlooker, and I think that this will serve as a great inspiration for our students.
The statue is designed in an Enlightenment era style. Dr. Schaefer adds that he is excited to have this addition as a welcome to students who enter the library.
He is modeled on an Enlightenment era philosopher type person. You can kind of tell that from the features. Some students have noted that he looks a little bit older, so I'm referring to him as a non-traditional student. And he was originally in front of Rushing Hall and now has been moved here. I am thrilled anytime we can do something to draw attention to the library and to get more students in here, so I think this is a great thing.
Claudia Pappenhorst, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University is looking to get students back out in the world by sending them around the world in one of a variety of study abroad trips. On Wednesday, students had the chance to see what trips are being offered this year. Kadarius Brown has the story.
The Study Abroad Club and the Exchange Program partners together to give students a chance to gain a higher education in places all over Europe, such as England, France, and Germany. Now, come with me. Wednesday morning, Troy University's Study Abroad Fair took place in the Trojan Center between the times of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Its purpose was to promote traveling the world to gain a higher education. The Study Abroad coordinator goes into more details.
Okay, so we're having our spring Study Abroad Fair. It's just where I come out on campus and try to talk to students and teach them a little bit about studying abroad. We have some short-term faculty-led trips going in the summer. And we also have some summer programs available through some of our partner universities.
The coordinator also explains the benefits of studying abroad.
Grad schools and employers are looking for candidates that have global awareness and cultural awareness. Only 10% of American students study abroad, so if you study abroad even for 10 days, it puts you in an elite group and helps you stand out when you're applying for grad schools or jobs.
The university offers financial aid and scholarships for those who are wishing to study abroad.
The university offers the Chancellor's Award for Global Competitiveness. It's $1,250. You have to have a 2.5 GPA and complete an application, be taking an applicable study abroad course, and it's non-competitive, so everyone gets it if you follow those requirements. We have 17 partner universities. Most of them are in Europe, but we also have 4 partner programs, and they have universities and programs trips that are in countries that we may not have a direct relationship.
Troy University's campus is full of international students, and I got the chance to talk to one of them and hear things from their perspective.
I'm coming from the Netherlands, Holland, and I am an exchange program student from there. As an exchange student, I found it very interesting to interact with my friends, American friends and classmates here, and teachers are very approachable. The campus is beautiful. We don't have that campus back in Europe, at least in my university. We don't have such a beautiful campus.
For more information on Troy University's Study Abroad program, you can find them on Facebook by searching Troy University, Troy Abroad. Arrivederci. Kadarius Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In China, New Year's is celebrated a little later than the traditional January 1st that we celebrate here in the United States. China's Lunar New Year celebration has some unique traditions that Troy University students had a chance to learn about. Belle Johnson gives us a look.
Thursday night, the Chinese Culture Club hosted an event celebrating the Lunar New Year. Students were able to hear presentations about the Lunar New Year and learn how it is significant in Chinese culture.
This is in celebration of the Chinese New Year, which follows the lunar calendar instead of the Julian calendar. And for the first month of the year falls on the 1st of February.
The goal of our Tea Talk events is to provide an opportunity for Troy students, as well as faculty and staff and the public of the city of Troy, to come and experience Chinese culture hands-on. Tonight the topic was the Lunar New Year, so tonight we did a presentation on the meaning of the Lunar New Year, as well as provided some of the food that they would typically eat around that time.
During the presentation, some students had the opportunity to draw out the Chinese symbol for dragon, and they learned more about the current Chinese zodiac, the tiger.
If you're born in the year of the tiger, you may have some of your personality features that reveal the features of a tiger.
Students also had the chance to try certain foods typically eaten during the Lunar New Year celebrations, including fried rice, dumplings, and different types of hot teas.
The food's also a good way to share the culture as well. That food brings people together, and as we see here, it's another learning opportunity for them. Many students and people in this area don't have an opportunity to ever visit China in their whole lifetime, unfortunately. Some of them may do it later in life, so what we want to do is create an atmosphere and a place where people can come and experience Chinese culture hands-on.
Belle Johnson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Valentine's Day is coming up on Monday, so this week the University Activities Council wanted to get couples ready for the holiday with an event that allowed students to show off their artistic side. Cailey Wright has the story.
With Valentine's Day right around the corner, friends and couples alike came out to TC Wednesday evening to listen to music and make a masterpiece at the University Activities Council's Paint and Sip event.
We really just want to do something fun and creative for Valentine's Day, to get in the mood for the holidays.
Though there were many talented painters, it was no competition. The event was intended to be a night where students can relax and do something different.
We have some stencils for people who don't know how to draw. We get so caught up in our everyday studies, just going to class, going to our dorm, going to our room, just studying, study.
And the students who showed up were having a great time.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of fun. I love painting, so it was like the best idea to come here.
So while students relaxed and sipped on Trojan juice, they were also getting creative. Many of the painters were inspired by the upcoming holiday.
It's me, and that's my friend Nikki, my Valentine's Day for today.
I was thinking about romance, old school romance.
I was looking online and I saw like a reference picture, and then also it's just I'm single on this Valentine's, so just me.
And others drew inspiration from elsewhere.
Painting a bunch of colors and trying to make it shimmer with a little black in there, Started off with the Kakashi thing, but I kind of didn't like the way it looked because I couldn't get the hair right, because you know how his hair kind of spiky. And I was like, no way, I'm just going to put a bunch of colors together, and I thought it was kind of cool.
Cailey Wright, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll have highlights from the women's basketball team's big win over South Alabama. That's coming up right after this, so stay tuned.
We all dream, but dreams quickly become distant memories unless we do something about it. Do everything in our power to learn to lead. At Troy University, we teach everyone to be leaders in their field. We're dedicated to teaching a new generation to lead change.
Mama. Say mama. Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm almost 2 now and still not responding. That's one sign of a communication disorder, and delaying treatment can affect my development.
Many parents aren't aware of the early signs of speech, language, and hearing disorders, yet early detection and treatment can improve quality of life.
Say dada.
Ugh, here we go.
Identify the signs of communication disorders.
A week after the men's basketball team did it, it was the women's basketball team's turn to host South Alabama in Trojan Arena. Jacqueline Lambert has the highlights.
The women's basketball team, coming off of a successful road trip to Georgia where they beat Georgia Southern and Georgia State, returned to Trojan Arena to face rival South Alabama. The Trojans dominated the Jaguars from tip-offs, outscoring South 31-4. Velmis Karenga and Tina Stevens combined for 8 points in just the first minute and a half of the game.
I'm mostly proud of the way we started the game. We held them to 4 points in the first quarter, but it didn't end there. The people who came off the bench and even towards the end of the game really contributed. They took their role very seriously.
South did fight back during the second quarter, putting up 18 points to Troy's 13, but Troy went into the half with a 20-point lead.
We did have a bump in the middle of the road where we did have a scoring drought in the second quarter and we had too many turnovers, but at halftime we pulled it back in. We identified that that was a big problem, and the people coming off the bench came out and played like starters.
The Trojans came out of halftime much like the beginning of the game, building a 29-point lead, but the Jaguars responded with a 10-0 run, cutting the lead to 19. After trading buckets, forward Amber Leggett sunk a pair of free throws, giving the Trojans a 59-35 lead into the fourth. The Trojans kept their foot on the gas in the fourth, scoring 25 points and leading by as many as 38 points. The Trojans had a lot of help off of the bench with Jemiah Hollings coming in during the fourth, scoring 12 points. Both Tina Stevens and Jasmine Robinson matched that point total for the game, while Filmus Karanga finished with 10 points and 12 rebounds, getting her 11th double-double of the season.
She's so consistent. That was her word this year, is consistency. She wanted to be consistent for us. And so a consistent double-double, that's not bad. And the other thing she's consistent with is her attitude and always putting the team first. Because as you see, she's the one player starter that didn't get to go back in really in the second half very much. And she's just going to cheer for everybody and be happy for the team no matter what.
The Trojan softball season will kick off this weekend. However, last weekend, Trojan fans had the chance to get their first taste of Troy's Diamond Sports as the softball and baseball teams held a fan day at Riddle Pace Field. Georgia Clark has that story.
On Saturday, the Troy University baseball and softball teams held their annual fan day, which gives fans the opportunity to meet their favorite players face to face.
Yeah, so this fan day, of course, being my first year here, the first experience doing it where the fans get to come in here and obviously hear from softball and meet their players, and hear from baseball and see all their players up close and personal, and get a little FaceTime with them and stand out here on the field and get with the inflatables out there and left and just have a little bit of fun this morning before we get into practice later on today.
Fans lined up at the autograph tables to have their posters signed by the players and were encouraged to grab some food to enjoy on the field. After the signing, the young fans took advantage of the beautiful day to practice their slides and play a few rounds of tag. Fan Day is not only great for fans, but for the players as well.
Yeah, Fan Day is just a day that we get to come and meet our fans that are going to come watch us and support us, and it's just a great way to meet little kids who are aspiring softball or baseball players, and even just meet the adults that just want to support us and just love us and be there for us while we're playing.
We love this day. All the fans come out, get to interact with the players, and we get to see all the fans and put a face to the name, and it's a really awesome day for not only the baseball team, the softball team as well, just everyone in general.
And though this is the only fan day of the season, that does not stop the players from getting out and interacting with fans.
I do think that our kids are very involved in the community, and they do enjoy getting to meet one another, and after the games they love obviously seeing all the fans that have come, and they have a good relationship with most of them. I think that they have a pretty good following, and they continue to come obviously during the year.
Troy softball will play their first game February 11th at 2 p.m. against Charleston. And the following weekend, Troy baseball will start their season off playing against Holy Cross on the 18th at 4.
The baseball and softball 2022 game schedules can be found at TroyTrojans.com. Georgia Clark, Troy Trojan Vision News.
It's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll hear more about the 2022 Trojan softball season. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
For over 70 years, Smokey Bear has asked you to use fire responsibly.
Fire is due to an unattended campfire. Go time.
Here's how you can stay on the front lines of preventing wildfires. Always watch your campfire. Before leaving, drown it, stir it, drown it again, and feel that the fire is out cold.
Oh, bullseye!
And you won't need a visit from these guys.
Copy that.
You can be Smokey's wingman when enjoying nature and prevent wildfires. Visit SmokeyBear.com for more fire prevention tips.
As we learned in the last segment, the Trojan softball season will start this weekend. We learned more about the upcoming season in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is co-interim head coach of the Trojan softball team, Holly Ward. Holly, thanks for joining me here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And the first thing I want to talk about, that long title I just spilled out there, it's kind of the elephant in the room when it comes to the season, because it was just announced that head coach Beth Mullins was taking a leave of absence due to medical reasons. And so that puts it on you and Taylor Smart as the interim head coaches this year. So before we get into talk about the season, just tell me about how you're feeling right now taking on this additional role of you and Taylor having to be the interim head coaches.
Right, of course. Well, Taylor and I are very prepared, and we are 100% behind Coach Mullins and her decision. I think your health is really important, and I'm really proud of her for being able to take a step back and focus on herself, and we are 100% ready to step into that role. And we really operate as a staff, all three of us, even when Coach Mullins is with us. So, it's really not anything super different, and we're very prepared. And, I'm over pitching, she does defense and hitting, and then I help with hitting as well. So I think we're pretty prepared and, not very overwhelmed at all. It's just, another day of coaching.
And of course, now that's the two of you, but the team, how did the team kind of handle this transition? Obviously being so close.
Right.
I mean, it was a little over a week from the start of the season when this announcement was made. How are they handling kind of this transition? Obviously you said it's kind of the natural order that you guys helped out anyways, right?
Right, yes. I think the team was pretty surprised and they were a little taken aback, but I think at the end of the day, they know that T-Smart and I are going to do what's best for the team, and they want what's best for Coach Mullins as well as we do. So, everybody we talked about, everybody's just going to have to step up a little bit more, and we're going to all be the goals are the same, we still want to win a conference championship. We still want to make it to postseason again for the second year in a row. And, whenever Coach Mullins is ready, they know that she will come back. And so I think they know she's just going to do what's best for her. And until she comes back, nothing really changes. The goals are the same. We're still competing every day. So I think they're also excited for game week, so I think that helps a little bit. That they're just ready to get out there and play.
And of course, let's talk about that. The success of last season moving into this season, obviously getting into the regionals and making that push there, something that you just mentioned you want to go back to, but how does that help motivate the team? Is it that you need to motivate them because of what they had last year and what they're going into this year?
Right. Well, we're not that different of a team. We only lost 2, which is not that they were not important because they had very big roles, but we also brought in 5 newcomers who are studs. And as far as the motivation, I think, getting that taste is, we always say, you've got to get over the hump. Like once you get over the hump and you make it to postseason, you never want to not be in it again. So I think the motivation is there. I don't think we have to do anything extra. They know what it takes to get there. So I think, they're just ready to get rolling.
And of course, they've got to make it through conference play to do that. And how do you think you all are going to, we know how the coaches felt y'all were going to do, but how do you think you're going to feel in conference play? Because obviously there's always that looming threat of the #1 team in the Sun Belt, Louisiana there. But how do you feel that you're going to do conference-wise this year?
I think we're going to do really well. Last year we did very well, and I think we're going to do even better this year. We have some more depth on our pitching staff, and I think we're hitting the ball a lot better than we ever have in previous preseasons. So I think that's all just positive impacts that we're going to take into conference play. But as far as conference goes, we've got to take care of everything before that first, before we get there. And I know the teams, we made it to regionals last year, but when we talk about goals a lot, and all of their goals were, we want to win a conference championship. So, we can be an at-large bid and make it to regionals like we did last year, but they want the conference championship. Yeah. So I think that's really awesome, and just set, a new standard that's what we want to do. And I think everybody on our team and coaching staff is we know that is very possible.
And of course, big weekend to start things off this weekend, 5 games at home. So anybody who's been waiting to see this softball team in action, they get a chance to, got to be excited about getting to start here at home to start the season.
Yes, for sure. Starting at home is always awesome. We get the home crowd and just maybe work out some jitters of, first weekend back. And, once you get past that first game, it's like smooth sailing from there. So I think, they're so ready to play somebody other than themselves. We've been scrimmaging each other for over a month now, and I know our hitters are ready to face some different pitchers, and our pitchers are ready to face some different hitters, because we have been really doing both very well. So I think we're really excited to get back out there and draw the home crowd in and do all of the things.
Start things off against College of Charleston Friday at 2 p.m. Is that right? All right, so folks can head out to the softball complex and check you out. 5 games this weekend. Not an excuse to not see the softball team in action. Holly, thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's the week that was. To find out what's happening on a daily basis, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or you can visit us anytime on the Troy TrojanVision News blog at today.troy.edu/TrojanVision to see online content from Troy TrojanVision News anytime. And until next time, have a good week.